been chosen.
So I recently uploaded this video contending to a statement made by Archangel Michael for the Redpill78 interview, the purpose of which was to completely discredit the Austin Steinbart operation. The next day, Archangel Michael reached out to me, essentially telling me that my assumption of the target of his specific statement concerning the battery was incorrect. Here's Archangel Michael's car battery comment.
Didn't have time. He still actually owes somebody $60 for a battery, a car battery that he hasn't even been able to pay for. Then he tried to manipulate this guy and say, well, you altered the bill, you owe me $60. You're lying to me. Like this guy literally came all the way from California to rip Austin off for $60. Like, this is the mentality that he has, you know what I mean? So to justify so that he doesn't have to pay back. He never paid for a single thing there. On my child's life, he never paid for a single thing there.
So I assumed that the comment was made in reference to myself, as I did have a breakdown out in Arizona. I did drive from California. Archangel Michael stated that there was indeed another person who had a car battery issue, and that person was Austin himself. I was shown evidence in the form of text messages which discussed vehicle repair and used the name Austin as an identifier. The messages did not specifically state anything about $60 being owed. Archangel Michael extensively painted a picture surrounding the text message images he sent me. While I cannot go into the specifics of the message, I will state that Archangel Michael made it clear to me that there was an altercation in Austin's Geronimo pad between him and another individual over the topic of who should pay for a fraction of vehicle repair cost, totaling about $60. On the surface, this testimony appears credible. Prior to me uploading the video, of which I've accused Archangel Michael of lying, I reached out to an associate at Austin's group to clarify that there was another person with battery issues. Assuming Archangel Michael's account of the situation is correct, it would seem that I was thrown off by this response. Due diligence does not work all the time. I offered for the other party in the house, who allegedly was to foot the bill for a fraction of Austin's vehicle repair costs, to get back with me, to inform me of their side of the story. I DM'd this person directly, and in a further measure of due diligence, also messaged 3 others who were able to reach him directly. I only heard back from one of the 3, who stated would reach out to this person. Given I was not informed of any specific emergency, I just have to assume that the party who allegedly footed Austin's bill went into silence. Given that I previously had a very good window into communication with members of Austin Steinbart's team, I have to assume that this silence is calculated towards a larger and more important end that may be beyond my own understanding, or may be the more unfortunate kind of silence that is demonstrated in Hell's Kitchen.
Yourselves. I order 4 covers, table 52, 2 scallops, 2 spaghetti.
Not ready yet. There's just so much going on.
Let's go. Gail's just completely non-communication.
I got it.
Garnish, let's go.
Gail is literally shutting down. She's just like, come on, Gail.
When the intense fires of public scrutiny are burning brightly, some people tend to falter under the intense pressures. If they know they can't provide an effective counter, they take on silence. This is something I too have done throughout my life, and I've usually suffered for it. So with silence and a lack of clarification on the controversies brought up in some of these recent podcasts, we were left with the question of what deadline did Austin provide us for when it will be fully demonstrated that he is indeed on the Q team and when he indeed takes control of Space Force. Here's his answer.
And I don't have like the hard set time frame yet of exactly when that'll be, but it was indicated, I'll say, to me in January that I was going to be kind of fully integrated to the Space Force role and not just doing the spy stuff here in the internet. That was going to happen within the next 18 months. So we obviously got an election coming up. We got a lot of other kind of marks we got to hit, but that's definitely something to look forward to.
So there's that. Assuming he means 18 months from January, that would be summer of 2021 where he would assume command. The latest it could be pushed would be October or November 2021. Then we have the claim for this upcoming election itself.
So we obviously got an election coming up. We got a lot of other kind of marks we got to hit, but that's definitely something to look forward to.
We've got a big trump card for that election.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've had it. That's the silly thing about trying to pretend that the WikiLeaks didn't happen.
So I'll cut off right there. So apparently there is a Trump card for this election that will ensure Trump's nomination and eventual reassumption to office. So from about today's date, Austin's given himself a year to assume command of Space Force. For those of us who have been closely watching and associated with Austin, we're sort of just sitting here, waiting for either Austin to somehow fail in his proceedings with Dato and have to do jail time, or for a number of additional synchronicities to occur, establishing that he is indeed a special person. Bear in mind, even if his entire team abandons him, he still could be on the Q team, just an individual who in that instance would have failed public relations. But at that marker he provides, a year from now, he will either become lionized as a hero or relatively forgotten. Look at the quote from this interview, Austin Steinbart interview 5.0. Look at the Q post today. It's the very last post is a song. I'll show you each of these.
A wide variety of things. I love Above and Beyond is one of my favorite band, or one of my favorite musicians groups.
If the name of the game at this point is to detract from Austin's legitimacy, it should be done with a focus on that proof I've just shown you. It's very, very hard to just guess the name of a music group that's going to appear on a keyboard, especially for a very obscure one such as Above and Beyond. Because of these connections, which here and so far have not been properly disputed, my prediction on the matter is Austin will continue to persist in the Q movement. His name recognition is likely to continue to grow up into that 1 year time frame. The personal drama, which is multiplying on the net as we speak, will act as a continual burden, sucking up any joy from Austin's experience. I recognize the controversy, but I don't forget the past. My advice would be, if your claims are honest, it's wise to face your problems head on. And that advice does not take into account the possibility this whole situation may be deliberate. Significant, irrefutable evidence from Austin's opposition could change this projection. I'm so willing to be proven wrong, but my intuition tells me that Austin's apparent legal star power will begin to manifest in very surprising ways over the next few months. Smoking gun evidence of debts owed would not manifest from the opposition, and the entire Q community taking on a show, the outcome of which they scarcely could believe. That is all.